So, but if we're driving from N3 and then into Vosloorus, I only see boards when I drive past, when I use N3. I'm meeting Vosloorus. But as I'm saying, we need to take instructions from him because I don't want to dictate to him as to what is it that should be happening.
Yeah, but I thought that's at Vosloorus because he says that's where he was assaulted, inside that complex.
Yes, that's the reason why I'm saying my that he will have to indicate with precision the spot where he says the assault took place. But as to the movement from here to the entrance of Vosloorus, that is what I need to ascertain with him if he will be comfortable with it. If the police will be leading or will be doing the driving, can take this court up to that point, and then from there, then he starts to direct the road to what, or we can simply drive up to the spot, up to that complex, because that's a very big complex, and then arriving at that complex, then we would then say no. From here, I'll then give direction as to exactly the spot where I was taken to and later on assaulted.
Yeah, okay, fine.
I will have to take instructions from him in that regard.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Masipili?
As the court places, Madam, I think very the instruction is Mr. Mnisi's instruction, but just to add on, Madam, the two occasions when he said he was assaulted, the first one, for direction purposes, he said he was from Villeria to, on the 5th of June, from Villeria to Albertine, then to that spot where he allegedly was assaulted. And then on the 30th of June, it was from Tembisa to Vosloorus, then where he was also allegedly assaulted. So for direction purposes, Madam, I believe that perhaps but direction will be taken from him and instructions. If the convoy drives from here up to the entrance of Vosloorus, then he can take it from there, Madam, as the court places.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Mamal.
Morning, madam. Morning. Thank you. I have no instructions. I have no instructions. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Mshalo.
Yes, the court is allowed. I have no instructions from accused number 5.
Yes, your state, what's your view?
As a court case, if I can just maybe briefly start with the provisions of the law regarding the holding of an inspection in document. This is provided for in section 169 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. It allows a court to visit a place or examine an object relevant to a case to better understand the evidence presented. And this is a valuable tool for courts to gain first-hand insight and clarify facts in dispute, particularly when physical evidence cannot easily be brought to the courtroom. And the purpose and procedure, maybe I'll just wait for the accused to come to the box. May I start all over?
Yeah, please.
My Lord, the procedure that we're about to embark upon, namely inspection in local, is provided for in section 169 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. It allows a court to visit a place or examine an object relevant to a case to better understand the evidence presented This is a valuable tool for courts to gain first-hand insight and clarify facts in dispute, particularly when physical evidence cannot easily be brought to the courtroom. And the purpose and procedure. The primary purpose of an inspection in law court is to help the court to understand the evidence, including oral testimony and real evidence presented during the trial. It allows the court to observe the scene or object firsthand, potentially resolving conflicting accounts or interpretation of the evidence. Now, the next observation, my lord, is as to what happens at the inspection in the court. Says the court should meticulously record its observations during the inspection, allowing both parties to comment on them. These are the state and the defense. Says further, the inspection is a supplementary tool and should not replace the need for proper evidence gathering and presentation. And another observation, important observation, my lord, is that the court's observations during the inspection becomes part of the report and are crucial for a fair and transparent process. And the other observation is equally important, my lord. There is access and limitations. Inspections are typically conducted at the scene of the incident or where the relevant object is located. The court may be accompanied by parties to the case, witnesses, and relevant experts to ensure proper understanding. And the court's observation should be interpreted in light of the evidence presented and the arguments made by both sides. That, in short, my lord, is the purpose of today's exercise.
Okay. Yeah, let Mr. Jonas apprise the gentleman of what has transpired before they came in.
Ngaphambi kokuthi ningeneke inkantolo isinikeze ithuba kubameli kanye nomshushisi ukuthi bashoke ukuthi sihlangene ngani namuhla. Usukumileke uadvocate Mnisi wathi nanjengoba-ke esho noma ashilo umnumzane Sibiya phambi kwale nkantolo ukuthi-ke kuyindawo ethizeni la athathwa amiswa kuyona-ke la ashaywa khona. Sikhuluma ngamalanga amabili-ke la i-30 zikaMeyi kanye neyi-5 zikaJuni. Ukuthi-ke kune-sport esithize-ke manje-ke sicela ukuthi-ke kuhanjwe-ke kuleyo ndawo la ekuzoba kuyena-ke umnumzane Sibiya-ke ozosho-ke ukuthi-ke yila engashayelwa khona. Wakusho-ke nokuthi akanaso isiqinisekiso sokuthi-ke ukusuka la ePitori ukuya kuleyo ndawo umnumzane Sibiya uzoba kusimo yini noma uzokwazi yini ukuthi-ke asho-ke ukuthi akuhanjwe kanjani noma-ke kusuke lana kuhanjwe kuyiwe la ekungenwa khona noma-ke phecelezi-ke entrance yakhona eVosloorus, bese-ke ukusuka lapho kuyiwe-ke kuleyo ndawo leyo ekula khona-ke umnumzane uSibiya ezosho khona-ke ezoyikhomba-ke indawo le akhuluma ngayo. Ukushilo-ke ukuthi khona-ke kusafanele akuxazululeke noma-ke akhulumisane naye-ke umnumzane uSibiya ukuthi nje kucace ukuthi-ke uzokwazi yini ukuthi-ke akhombise noma-ke akhombe indlela. Usukumile-ke ubaba uDamusipile ezama ukuthi alekeleleke yena-ke ubaba uMnisi ngokuthi-ke okokuqala umnumzane uSibiya washo ukuthi wasuswa eValeria wahanjiswa waya e-Albertine, bese kusuka lapho-ke la ekwayiwa kuleyo ndawo le athi kuyona ashayelwa kuyona. Sikhuluma ngazo i-5 zikaJuni, bese kuthi ngeyi-20 wasuka-ke ethembisa ukuya eVosloorus. Umnumzane uNomali uthe cha akukho yena-ke angakusho kulo daba, naye-ke u-advocate Mshololo. Bese sukuma-ke u-advocate uBaloyi echazela-ke manje inkantolo nomuntu wonke ukuthi-ke ukhona-ke umthetho omayelana-ke nalo daba lolu obhekene ngalo namuhla. waseke eshoke ukuthi-ke usection 169 ka-51 kuya no-1977 ivumela-ke inkantolo ukuthi-ke iye kuleyo ndawo leyo ekukhulunywa ngayo ukuthi-ke ibuzisise kahle ubufakazi uma kuwukuthi-ke kukhona la ekungaziwana khona noma-ke ekuphikiswana khona-ke futhi-ke lokho kuhambisana nalo icala uma kukhona-ke ekuphikiswana ngako ukuxazulula lokho-ke ukufanele kuyiweke kwenziwe lokho okubizwa ukuthi phecelezi-ke iyona-ke i-inspection ikakhulukazi-ke uma kuwukuthi-ke ubufakazi lokho akusuwona ubufakazi obungakwazi ukuthi-ke buze phambi kwenkantolo inkantolo ikubone nokuthi futhi-ke kuxazululeke ubufakazi lobo nokuthi konke uma sekufika lapho phambili-ke konke okubonwayo noma uma kukhonjwa-ke kufanele kubhalwe phansi yonke into futhi-ke nokuthi-ke inkantolo ivumeleke ishushisi kanye futhi nabameli uma kukhona abafisa ukusho ibanikeze lelo thuba lelo ukuthi bakusho-ke naloko inkantolo ekubonayo laphayana kuyona-ke inspection kufanele nabo kube yingxenye yobufakazi obuphambi kwayo inkantolo nokuthi leyo mthetho uyasho-ke ukuthi obaniki abavumelekileyo ukuthi bahambeke noma baye kuyona-ke inspection yilabo abayingxenye yalo-ke icala lelo eliqulwayo phambi kwenkantolo nokuthi futhi okwenzekayo khona lapho kufanele kuvunyiswe noma-ke kucoliwe.
Yeah. Procedurally, the state and the defense, I'm only aware of 2 witnesses, unless you say there are others, the Brigadier Keninda and Mr. Sibiya, because the incident, yes, I understand the evidence apparently affects only them. I know that initially before Keninda, Brigadier, came onto the scene, it was Mokhane who was there. Are you going to pursue it? Mokhola, sorry. Are you going to pursue it? You must tell me how you want to pursue it. How many witnesses is Nada with?
She will be there as well.
She will be there.
If the court gives its blessing. Yes.
Yeah, because it's now 2 incidences. When we adjourned, it was apparently 1, you remember? But today they say it's 2 incidences. The first one is the 5th of June, and the other one is the 30th of... it's the other way, actually.
Yes.
The 30th of May,
Yes.
and the 5th of June.
But it's the same spot.
Yeah, fine. But the actors, are they the same?
Well, I think they'll have to clarify that. But as far as I'm concerned, in essence, yes. The participants will be the same. But as I say, subject to confirmation.
Okay, fine. Yes, Mr. Mnisi. Your witnesses.
As it is a
Yeah.
court, my lord, it will only be Mr. Sibiya.
Mr. Sibiya.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Inkantolo iphazulula udaba lofakazi ukuthi-ke nanjengakhulunyiwe ngofakazi usiyaphendula-ke advocate Mnisi ukuthi cha kuzoba umnumzane Sibiya kuphela namagama uyena-ke ozoba ufakazi ozosho noma ozokhomba.
Any other thing arising from what we've just said? You want to place on record?
As it is a
Issue.
court, my lord, I don't have anything. I would have requested the intelligence to approach.
Yeah,
Mr.
you said you
Sibiya
wanted to
on the process.
approach your client. We can do so.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the indulgence, madam. Mr. Sibiya says from here we need to take the R21 to the airport. I think it's R21 north, and then from the airport, and then from the R21 we are going to join N12. From N12, then we will be joining the N3. And then we'll be driving up until we see the Vosloorus off-ramp, and then we get into the Vosloorus township. From Vosloorus, as we drive into the Vosloorus township, he says he would then start to give direction to the people who will be with him in the car. But in a sense, he is saying we need to drive to that Gold Spot shopping complex, but particularly the municipal offices, the municipality offices at that shopping complex. And then from there, we need to stop, and then he will walk us to exactly the spot where he says he was assaulted.
Yeah, okay. Except that the security details of how we get there will be conducted by the security complement, because those arrangements have already been made. Am I correct, Mr. Baloi? Yes. How we get there, maybe they're going to give us a helicopter, I don't know. Yeah, so can they adjourn a bit, and then we have the security guys coming in? To come in. Can you explain to the gentleman that for security reasons they must adjourn, and then the security complement will come and brief the court how we get there and what we're going to do and how we're going to travel.
ukuthi sizohamba kanjani kuyofika khona lapha yangendawo sikhuluma ngayo nangokushilo ukuthi usuka la sohamba ngo-R21 ku-N12 u-N3 bese siyongena-ke Vosloorus off-ramp bese siyangena-ke elokishini khona ukusuka lapho usuzosho-ke wena ukuthi uhambe kanjani. Inkantolo ithi-ke okuzokwenzeka-ke manje ukuthi-ke nizothathwa-ke mina-ke bese niyahanjiswa yezansi bese kuthi laba-ke okuyibona abazohola-ke noma bazosho ukuthi kuzohanjwa kanjani bazobe sebengena-ke ngaphakathi enkantolo sebetshela inkantolo-ke ukuthi-ke kuzohanjwa kanjani ukuthi kuyofikwa-ke khona lapho. Kodwa manje-ke okuzokwenzeka-ke ukuthi bazohamba nani banise ezansi ngaphambi kokuthi bangene-ke lapho kufanele ukuthi bangene bazotshela inkantolo. Siyabonga.
So maybe just before I adjourn, maybe clarity as to whether the media is allowed to accompany the court.
What is your submission?
Well, this is largely the request of the defense, so I think we need to be guided by them. We don't really have an objection from our side.
Yes.
I think it's a call that must be made by the people inside.
Yes, Mr. Mnisi, what should we do about the media?
Thank you, Madam. Insofar as the security briefing is concerned, I'm of the view that it should only be the court personnel.
It should only be?
The court personnel. In other words, the court himself, members of the court, which are the defense team, probably the security cluster, to the exclusion of the media house. Well, insofar as them being at the place of the inspection in local, that would be their own taking. But for purposes of the security briefing, I'm of the view that they should excuse us.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's hear the media's view.
Good morning, my lord. I'm Griselda Lewis from SABC Television News. We just briefed our colleagues just a few moments ago due to the sensitivities of the briefing which you will receive relating to the security measures that all cameras will be switched off now.
That's okay, fine.
Thank you, my lord.
But the court can't disbar the media from attending the court as it sits at Vosloorus. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, indeed, my lord.
Yeah. How they get there, but when they are there, they are accredited. You remember the order we made on the 7th of July, 2023, is it? You've forgotten?
Yes, no, these days it forms part of the record. It's actually an exhibit, an addendum to the.
Yeah, quite.
The only request.
Yeah, at this stage, the media should excuse us. Okay, fine.
phone on by any chance?
No, I'm not sure. It passed by laptop. I mean, I think it'd be live.
Left?
Yeah. We are closer.
Trying.
Yeah, you can come. Yeah, we can just go behind that, trailer behind that. The police. Chance we can come to where left. Yeah, you can come.
I'm not even on.
Fine.
imoto le truck asingene left. Behind this BM in a blue lights. How's it there? bayawenza phambili.
No, ngiyasho thina emsebenzini.
Oh no.
Location. He's expected to point out exactly what happened when he says he was assaulted, what happened at that location, is that the location that he has been taken to. And in fact, during the court proceedings this morning, which were very brief, he was asked by his lawyer, Advocate Charles Mnisi, whether he would be able to point out this area. And he did indicate that, yes, we'll follow a particular direction. It will take us to this particular area. But of course, it is described as a municipal area. So we'll tell you a bit more about that on our arrival at that particular area. But of course, this inspection in loco is something that, even the Judge Rata Mogotleng, was the presiding judge in this matter, had asked whether it was necessary, given the fact that there were aerial photographs, and those aerial photographs basically show this particular area. But because Advocate Charles Mnisi, who is his legal representative, has indicated that at this particular point, those aerial photographs are not enough, basically. And basically that the description that the lead investigator, Brigadier Bongani Kininda, is giving is different to that of accused number one. He felt that this inspection in loco is something that needed to take place. So we're expected to hear from Muzi Sibiya once we get to that location. He will tell us in detail, once again, what he claims happened at that location, how he was assaulted, what did police do. And also, remember, it's 2 occasions that he claims he had been assaulted. This is on the 30th of May 2020, on the day that he was arrested, and on the 5th of June 2020, on the day that this alleged confession was taken at the Dipkloof police station in Soweto.
far gone. There's no moving this one. For anyone. Okay, I think we're supposed to go left though. Somewhere in Trene.
And through Cesar.
Don't take it far, but crossing right there. Sakafona. Is the space there? Can I go?
Yeah, you can go.
Makangeke nginele la.
here. Stop here.
Go back there. Go there.
Obrigada tazela yo. Hey, Clotilda.
Okay.
Come over, come over, come. Yeah, camera's in the base. Obri. No. Let's go. We are going that way. Yeah. That's why I wanted to try to go straight. Wait.
you can see a shot. Can you see a shot from here? Fuck's sake.
You can't be moving around like this.
You're crossing the road, uncle. Just park there front where you want to. Yeah, we have to find out.
Listen to me, guys. Live you 6. Stella. Live you 6.
I'm in trouble. Yes. 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 All right, so what we're witnessing at this point is the accused have been brought here to this first location, of course, where accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, does claim that he was assaulted by police. You'd recall on the days, which is the 30th of May 2020, as well as the 5th of June 2020. You'd recall, of course, that some of the accusations that he made against police was that he was also forced to sign. He was also forced to sign a confession and coerced into signing a prepared statement. So that izawusebenza going forward. You didn't even get a shot mchana lo muntu ephuma laphayana senkingeni. Une phone number kabani? Let's just make sure. Awunayo inamba kaShato? Ekaronewa? Please can you send me Shadow's number on Stella's phone? Shadow, you know Shadow? Or Shakira? Or Shakira? Guys, how did I even get lost? We need to get some visuals. People are live. Hello? Hi, Ronewa? Yeah, do you have the number? Yeah, please, it's quite urgent. Please. on this number. Yo. From this side?
Kai, why? Hey. What are you, wow?
Open. I'll reverse because bank blockade the pole. I'll tell you what to stop.
Mr. Sibiya, this is what is known as the golden spot. It's an area that encompasses a lot of offices in their different formats. So upon our arrival here, we were at one part of the area within the golden spot, and then went to ask him if he's now in a position to show where the alleged assault on him on the 30th of May and also on the 5th of June took place. The spot where the alleged assault took place, yes. And then he said, no, he would be able to point to the area, and as he was pointing, we realized that he was pointing to this direction, and then he also undertook to walk us to exactly the spot where the alleged assault took place.
Okay.
He has been showing the team of the defense around here, but for court purposes, I think it would be best for him to show exactly where the assault took place and the motor vehicle that accompanied him, or that were involved on that day. Officers were also packed. We'll start with the date of the 30th so that we do not conflate issues. The 30th of May, when they were from Vosloorus, that is the day on which he was then arrested, when they were from Tembisa. Exactly where the assault took place. I wonder if this can be interpreted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Sibiya, kanye futhi ke nabanye uyasho ke advocate Mnisi ukuthi le ndawo ke ibizwa ngokuthi i-golden spot bese kwingxenyeke ngale yayo ke la abakhulumisene nawe khona ke uthe manje ukhulumisana ke kwanala ukhomba khona ke ingakho sesifike khona lana ke ukukhuluma futhi babameli kanye nawe ubuke nendawo ke ukuyikhomba khomba kodwa ke uzocela ke yena besho nje kodwa kuzocelwa wena ke ukuthi kube uwena umuntu ke le ndawo ukuzisho khona ke abameli ukuthi ke uyikhombe kanye futhi ke nemoto ubatshelile nangemoto kwakuyingxenye futhi yethimba lelo elalikhona ngalelo langa.
With the name of court, I would therefore request Mr. Sibiya to point where this whole incident happened. I've been informed by the statement that currently there's a gentleman who's a photographer. And we've agreed that we don't have an objection that he takes photograph of him as he pointed.
Is he a policeman?
Yeah, he's a photographer.
Is he a policeman?
Yes, he is.
He's a draftsman, yes. He's from the police services.
Yeah, fine. If it's an officer, fine.
Isecela advocate Mnisi ukuthi ngokuvunyelwa inkantolo kube uyaqala ke ukhomba sikhona ke nesicelo ukuthi ke ukhona umhlobo weyithombe wasemaphoyiseni kuye bavumelene ke ukuthi ke angaqhubeka ngokuthula ithombe usebenzela amaphoyisa.
Mr. Sibiya, you then requested, the court has given you permission to go and point where you were taken out of the motor vehicle, the point where the interview or the interrogation took place, but we're going to start exactly with the date of the 30th of May. Do you understand?
Sizoqala ke noma uzocela ke ngoba inkantolo sivumileke ukuthi ke ukhombe la owaphishwa khona ke emotweni kwase kukhulumiswana ke nawe sizoqala ke ngalo ilanga la nge-30 zika May. So follow wena
savela ngala imoto zangena la
ungajathi nasikhulume yonke. We appeared from this side. The cars drove in here. Yebo zaya ngakuphi?
zapakama la imoto zakhona.
This is where the vehicles parked. Where? It's pointing come before the vehicles parked here.
How many vehicles are there?
Kwakuyimoto ingaki?
Ngiyacabanga zazi 7.
I think there were 7. Ngaqhubeka baba.
Yeah, mina
so that the judge can see what's going on. Thank you.
They made me to sit down here.
In Ambusana ngendlela wafike ngayo.
I was cuffed like this. I was seated like this. When I was seated like this is where they would put on the plastic, and I ended up laying down.
So emva kwesikhathi ngasekuvela owavelayo so lo baba lo ngithi mina ngagcina ngilo ngazigcineni uGininda so ye washo uma ngigcina ngibona ngigcina sengibona sekukhona yena la so ba shift abamela lapha ngasemotweni baba meeting yabo
And then
seyabuya ke sezokhuluma la.
This particular gentleman who I later on got to know as Gininda then appeared. They then moved towards the vehicle. They held a meeting over there.
Now, this area where we are, will you be able to tell the court what place is this? The name of this place.
Indawo lena esikuyona manje ungakhona yini ukuthi uyitshele inkantolo ukuthi yini igama la le ndawo?
So thina sazi ukuthi indawo eseGosport indawo kamasipala le.
We know it to be the gold spot belonging to the municipality.
From where we are, where's the police station?
Kundawo esikuyona njengamanje ipolice station kuphi nendawo?
Police station la ngemuva.
The police station is right at the back. As I'm seated facing that direction, the police station is behind me.
Are you familiar with this place?
Uyayazi le ndawo le?
Le ngangakaze ngize ngene la ngaphakathi bengiyazi nje ngokwendlula la ngaphandle estradini.
I've never
so ngaqala ungena ngalela la.
Oh sorry, I never entered the premises. I would just pass over there, but on that day was my first time entering these premises.
So what are you then saying? Are you familiar with the surrounding here except for the fact that you never got in here?
Ngaphandle kokuthi ungakaze ungene lana kodwa indawo yona lena indawo uyayazi. I'm familiar with the place, the surroundings. Sebo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Now.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. That was now where he says he was interrogated. Sorry.
From my understanding, this fencing, was it still here? Can you see the fencing?
Nanjengoba kuvaliwe ke lana kubiyelwe kwakukhona la ngaleso sikhathi.
Lokubi.
Yes.
Kwakukhona.
Yes, my lord.
Were the cars coming in and out?
Ingaba imoto zayingena iphuma?
Ezabe ngahamba lapho.
Specifically the cars I was traveling in.
No, any car.
Nah, akhulunywa ngazo noma yiphi.
Ngaze ngibona.
I never saw them. And during that time it was a lockdown.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sibiya, that was the incident that took place on the 30th of May, not so?
Manje ke leso isigameko esenzeka nge-30 zika May yangithi.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you had done with what happened on the 30th, can you please also take us through what happened in the demonstration that you did about the 5th of June 2020? Yes.
Nanjengoba uqeda ke ukhombisa ukuthi kwenzekani nge-30 ungakhombisa ukuthi kwenzekani ke ngale ndlela oqeda ukutshengisa ngayo manje ke nge-5 zika June.
Now, just to check your memory, the date of the 5th is the date on which you ended up having had to go and do an alleged pointing out before Lieutenant Colonel Khatebe. Do you still remember that?
Uma ngingakhumbuza ke i-date yange-5 ile date ke bathi ke yona ke wahamba wayokhomba ngayo ke phambi kwakhe uKolonel Khatebe.
Yeah, now remember on the day you were driven direct from Pretoria, from Finalizing, as you remember.
Ukhumbuleke ngalelo langa lelo baza nawo ke nibuya ePretoria eValeria.
Yeah. Then upon arrival here, how did the car go into the premises, if this is the place that we're talking about on the of the incident of the 5th stuff.
Uma kuwukuthi ke iyona indawo le esikhuluma ngayo isigameko sange-5 zikaJune ima ingena ke imoto noma imoto zangena kanjani khona uma kuwukuthi iyona indawo le yange-5 zikaJune.
Yeah, iyo le.
Yes, it is the premises.
Zangena futhi khona lapha zazongena la. So zama khona la futhi.
They once again entered right there, came in through there, and they entered the premises, and once again they were parked over there. And then they made... I was then made to alight the vehicle, and I was placed here, although I cannot say precisely that it was this specific place, but this is where I was placed.
Okay, you can then start to demonstrate exactly as you did with what happened on the 30th.
Yeah,
with regard to what happened on the 5th. As we were taken out of the motor vehicle, how we made to sit down and stuff like that.
Ngendlela oqeda ukutshengisa ngayo usungaphinda ke utshengiseke namanje ukuthi nge5 kwenzeka kanjani.
Uphinde ngeprogram. Ngangilokho ngilibele ngiboshwe kanje. Angaboshiwe enyaweni. So noma ngeke ngithi la engangihleli khona ngangalela la. So nakhona ngisho so ngifasiwe so mangihlala so lesikhathi babeqala ngaso kwenza ukufaka iplastic bese beyangishaya.
I was at all times handcuffed, but my feet were not ironed, or there were no leg irons in my feet, and then I was made to sit like this, and as I indicated, handcuffed, and then it was at that time when they then started to put plastic over me and started to assault me. Yeah.
Assault went on then after that.
Emuva kokuthi ushayiwe
so mabeqeda ukungishaya saye sahamba saye Albertine.
After the assault we then left and went to Albertine.
Sorry, I agree that with the fact that they building this. Yeah, so there it is. You are from there.
Yes.
Across, there's a fire brigade.
And the lights, Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Judge. My suggestion
I was
was
not aware that there's a fire brigade building there. I was not aware.
But Judge, my suggestion was, since the photographer is here for orientation purposes, if they can take photos, I don't know, for our orientation, because writing notes also they won't be accurate.
Yes.
The building,
the photographer.
Yes, the fences.
Yeah, may I take photos from that end, showing the precinct. I think there are also, I don't know what this building, building is, whether it's offices or what.
Must I take it with people around?
Yes. Yeah. And just the precincts, the lighting, the lights outside.
Maybe as the photographer is preparing to take his photos, I think we need to give Sibiya a space and be here, alone, so that when the photos come, it's perfectly clear.
All right, Advocate Charles Mnisi, who is the legal representative for accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, asking us just to move a little bit back to allow the photographers to take some pictures. These are the police photographers. As you can see here towards my right, Muzi Sibiya standing right at the location where he says he was assaulted on 2 occasions. This is on the 5th of, the 30th of May 2020, as well as the 5th of June 2020. Recall, the 30th of May is the day that he was arrested. He describes as he sat down with his hands behind his head, demonstrating what he says happened to him on that day, indicating that there was a plastic that was put over his mouth, demonstrating to both the judge who is here today, as well as all the other legal representatives, what he says happened to him after he had been arrested. And this is on the 30th of May, and then of course on the 5th of June. This was the very same day that he had also or is alleged to have made that confession, where he also says he was coerced, him describing take a look. This is just, of course, for the police forensic services who are taking pictures of Muzi Sibiya. This is how he says he was treated or assaulted on the day of the 30th of May 2020, as well as the 5th of June 2020, demonstrating once again for the police services, him indicating that even the confession which he is said to have deposed of, him indicating that that particular confession is a confession that he says he was forced into. He was given something that was written already and forced to put his signature on that. He also says he was assaulted on that particular day as well. Remember, the contention of accused number one is that he'd been assaulted into a confession. After he had been arrested, he had been assaulted a number of times at this particular area, including what is described as the municipal area, where he says, right here at this particular spot, this is where he was assaulted on the 30th of May 2020, after he had been arrested, as well as on the 5th of June 2020. So this is quite a crucial part of today's proceedings. He says he was assaulted. Remember, the lead investigator in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, who was Brigadier Bongani Gininda, denying that any such incident had taken place. Him also saying that at the time that accused are booked out of the places where they've been detained, they are occurrence books or books where there are entries that would be made about the condition of an accused when he is booked out and when he is brought back in. So what we've heard from the authorities, what we've heard from the lead investigator, he contends that none of this had happened. But of course, the lawyer representing accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, through his lawyer, indicating that despite aerial photographs that had been, before court, because there had been a difference in the description that was given by the lead investigator, Brigadier Bongani Gininda, and accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, who is at this location now, where he says he was assaulted. The advocate representing him felt that they should come to this location and look at the exact descriptions, and for him to point out exactly what happened to him on those two said days. But you'd also be asking questions about why perhaps you also have the other accused here. Recall that Judge Gauteng had indicated that because of the others also being part or charged in this particular case, they should also be part of today's in-local inspection. But him describing, most importantly, today, how he had been assaulted in this municipal area here in Vosloorus, sitting on the ground with his hands behind his back a little bit earlier on, him giving an indication of how police, he says, had put a plastic over his head. Let's move towards this direction and see towards where the judge, where they seem to have headed towards a different direction now, and they're having a look at the parameters around this particular area. Remember, Judge Rata Mokwatleng asking about whether this particular area had been fenced off at the time that there had been when this alleged assault had taken place, describing also a taxi rank that had been around this particular area. So all of the elements that had been raised by accused number one in his description of the area where he said he was assaulted, which he has pointed out here today, of course.
He's just showing us this is the parking lot. We can all see it. So that's what it is.
Can you not take them faster? They are scared. Can you not put them on the camera? These guys, they are scared they will be in trouble.
Okay, so the term is that you should continue with officials engaging the
How did you get that site?
So what did you say about the movement, or it was closed?
When this whole dialogue.
Yeah, it was closed during
this whole place.
Are we through here?
What was closed?
So could it still be accessed?
Just repeat that.
No, I think for Mr. Sibiya's demonstration, that will be, yeah. Remember, this is his version. Yeah, this is his version.
Yeah, but they say.
I think this should be Fandiren.
Yeah.
Just be careful of those guys. They don't want to be on him.
What's the name of that main street?
It's not Birman on the
Birman.
photograph.
Yeah.
According to the aerial photograph.
Yeah.
That's how it was marked.
It's Birman Street.
According to the aerial photograph,
Yeah.
it was marked Birman.
Yeah.
And this one?
This small one.
To the municipality.
Yeah, it's just an entrance.
But this gentleman says they didn't close this part. I mean, they closed only one. This side, because there is a traffic cops. It was always open. Is that what they're saying?
And the building opposite.
And the brigade was open. So what was shut was here? Because the municipality.
It was just closed because of the Lombardy.
They left down here fine.
It's from 8 to 4 when the gate is 6
So the traffic department was open. The EMPD.
24/7. 6 to 4.
24/7.
No, I'm not asking about time. I'm asking about what
And
you
the
said.
opposite was fire.
Because I wasn't there when that information was.
Are we through here?
Yeah, it looks like we are through.
Now, Mr. Sibiya says, how did you get that side?
Yeah, we just thought maybe we should also go and check out the police station.
Yeah, fine.
What was the question?
Yeah, the judge asked us to what does Mr. Sibiya say? How did he get? I didn't get it.
Yeah, he says, how did you get that side?
No, Mr. Sibiya says
he was never taken this side.
No, he
Okay,
was
fine.
never taken this
Okay,
side.
fine.
Yeah, everything happened here.
On the
Yeah.
30th.
Oh, on the 30th and the 5th.
The 30th and the 5th,
Yes.
everything happened here.
Yes. We're not really here where we're standing, but there where he was demonstrating.
Yeah, no. Everything happened here on the
Yes.
two occasions.
Yes.
I want to see the secluded place where he was assaulted.
All right, Judge Ratamokgotleng requesting to be taken back to that area where accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, says he was assaulted. We'll go back there. His legal representative clarifying that everything had taken place towards that area where we were, where accused number 1 indicated he was forced onto the floor, and that's when he had been covered with a plastic around his face. And Judge Ratamokgotleng going back towards that area, as we have all 5 of the accused, you would see, under heavy police guard here at this particular stage. And Judge Ratamokgotleng indicating that he wants to be brought back to this particular area. The interpreter just giving an interpretation of what happened on the other side.
We have shown us that the scene very secluded. It looks like it's an open place, but the court wants to see what Mnisi meant by secluded.
The interpreter just explaining to the accused what happened on the other side, where Judge Ratamokgotleng had indicated he wanted to check the parameters of this area in terms of the description that was given by Muzi Sibiya in terms of the parameters. He described this as a municipal area. There is a home affairs here. There is a police station around this area. There is also a nearby shopping centre. And just a few meters from where he's standing now, he says, is where he was assaulted, where we saw a bit earlier on a demonstration according to him of how it had taken place on the 30th of May 2020, as well as the 5th of June of 2020. This was, going to be a last resort for the court. You would recall that while Advocate Charles Mnisi wanted this process to take place, let's just go in a bit. All right.
The police station is just behind, so I think we just need to go and check where the police station is.
But I think the judge wanted to find, said he wants Mr. Sibiya to show where that secluded area is. Yeah. I don't know whether he must show or he must say why he says this place is secluded. I don't know. We need to get clarification whether he needs to show where that secluded area is, or why does he say the spot that he has pointed now, he referred to it as a secluded area.
Yeah, if you can show us,
Thank you.
All right. Accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, having described this area as a secluded area. Now, Advocate Charles Mnisi, let's just quickly go in and take a listen.
Now we have demonstrated where you see, we have demonstrated where the incident of the 30th and the 5th of May took place, not so? Yeah, as we've seen here.
Usukhombeleke lokho kwenzeka nge-30 kanye nange-5 sikaJune. 30 May ne-5 kaJune, yes.
Now you recall when we presented this evidence, through me, I said you were taken to some sort of a secluded spot where this alleged assault took place. Do you still remember that?
Uzokhumbula-ke uma ngabe kuvela-ke lokhu kushiwo lokho ukusho ngami-ke ukuthi kunale ndawo ethizeni noma indawo nje eyimele eseceleni owathathwa kanjiswa kuyona la kwenzeka khona lokhu.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now the court The court wants to make a clarification as to why do you refer this area as a secluded area?
Manje ke inkantolo ifuna ke ukuchazela ukuthi kuzocaca ke lokhu ukuthi kungani uma ukhuluma ngale ndawo ke ukhuluma ngendawo nje eyimele indawo iseceleni eyodwa nje.
Why do you say this, or you regarded this as
noma ukuthi uyibone kanjalo ukuthi indawo nje eseceleni?
So ngoba ngithi mina indawo eseceleni le esithekile, so ugina indaba ekhomba ngale police station ethi yena sasise endaweni evulelekile police station. So mina ngitshela umnisi le ndawo le ayivulelekile, ayibonakala ukuthi ungabona into ele umuntu ongale uma kuma imoto la akakwazi ukubona ngala.
The reason why I pointed out or referred to this place as being a secluded place is because Brigadier Ninda pointed to the other side where the police station is and said that's where it happened. So I refer to this place because for someone who is up there and there are vehicles parked there, that person won't be able to see what is happening here.
Whether you secluded or obscure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Lamagama ukuthi ke indawo eseceleni noma ke indawo esithekile.
In other words, when I put your version to the state witnesses, I use these words interchangeably. Some sport I would say it looked like a secluded area or an obscured spot. Do you understand?
Uma bengikusho ke lokhu kofakazi ke bombuso bengisebenzisa lamagama ke amabili ngithi indawo eseceleni noma ke indawo nje esithekile.
Yona indawo esithekile phela ngoba umuntu ole akaboni makuma imoto la ngathi sithekile phela isikhathi leso maye ngibeke ngaphi imoto zingani umuntu ondlula lapha wayengaboni ngoba la kwangahambi imoto la kwangekho lutho.
It is indeed an obscured place because for someone who is walking up there and there are vehicles parked here, that person won't be able to see anything happening here, and there were no people that were moving here. It was only vehicles here.
I think. Are you? Is there anything that you wish to add, Mr. Sibiya?
Ukhona okunye
we have just gone through here now.
Kuloko sekwenzekile ke sesikwenzile lana kukhona okunye ofisa ukuthi ukusho?
Angicabanga ukuthi kukhona la nje amandla masinga-add court.
No, I don't think there is. If we were to add, maybe we can add that in court.
Are you satisfied with what transpired?
Wenemeke iloko kwenzekile la.
Ngendlela makuthi size sazobona la engangishayelwa khona. Right.
Yes, I am now fine. For us to have come here at the very same spot where I was assaulted, I'm okay. Who was assaulting you?
Wayekhona nomhula namaphoyisa ama traffic copper.
Mhula was there, traffic officers.
Namalok no Maphumulo.
The likes of Maphumulo.
No but Swashon. No Ngamane babekhona.
The one that is now late, Ngamane, and the others that I cannot remember.
No, thanks. That will be all from our side. When I say from our side, I mean Mr. Sibiya's side.
Mina ke naye umntwana Sibiya ngizothi ke kuphelele lapho.
All right, accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, indicating that the police officers who had been present on the day that he was assaulted, police officers Mkhola, Maphumulo, Ngamane, saying they were part. Let's just quickly listen in again.
That is now a clarification point from the court. The court says approximately how many people were involved. Let's start with the date of the 30th. How many guys or police who assaulted you or were involved in the alleged assault on the 30th?
Asiqale ke ngazo i-30 inkantolo ifuna ke ukuthi icace ke lokhu ukuthi babe kangaki siqale ngazo i-30 babe bangaki ababe ingxenye yokushaywa kwakho nge-30 zikaMeyi.
Amaphoyisa oke ayekhona nje ayengishaya ngoba ngeke ngize ngithi ubani wayengishaya ngoba ngangivaleke la ngangizwa nje ngenduku. So ngikwazi ukuthi ngathi ubani wayengishaya ubani wayengangishaya ubani kodwa nje amaphoyisa oke ayekhona ngangizwa ngenduku.
All the police officers that were present were assaulting me. I cannot be specific and say so and so was assaulting, so and so was not assaulting, but because my face was covered, so all the police were participating in the assault.
Yeah, no, that we understand, Sibiya, but the question is if you can put a number on the police who were here. Maybe there were 2, there were 3, there were 4, and we're not saying that you must give us an exact number. It's just an estimation. If you're still able to recall.
Noma kungaba nje uqagela ungasinikezi nje uthi cha babethe uma noma ungaqagela nje uthi babe bangaki ababe khona ngalelo langa lelo.
Plus or minus 14.
That's minus 14.
Amaphoyisa.
Police officers.
Namalo bonke nje bebonke laba begqoke private abegqoke uniform mangibahlanganisa bonke.
All inclusive, if I include all of them, those that were wearing uniform and those that were in civilian clothing.
That will also include the Metro Police from everywhere.
I'm including all of them.
Yeah, that is now on the 5th. I mean on the 30th.
School man gave 30 again. Yeah.
And then on the 5th.
Gave 5
of June 2020.
June 2020.
The same exercise.
No, ngate 5 babethe ukwehla noma ngasakhumbuli nani labo bayanga kodwa babenge baningi njengaleli langa leli babe kwakuzi 30 ngayo.
On the 5th the number had gone down, although I cannot be specific and say how many of them were there, but the number was not the same as on the 30th. The number was less.
10 plus or minus.
Maybe 10 plus or minus.
Thank you, folks. That's it.
All right, Advocate Charles Mnisi representing accused number 1, indicating that the process of the in-loco inspection, it seems will be moving towards the police station. I think the lead investigator, Brigadier Bongani Geninda.
We can drive them. Yeah, but it's quite a distance. You have to go out. No. You have to drive out of this block, turn right, and then pass the court, and then drive into the police station. That's exactly what we No.
It's the next block. I think it's in the same block.
It is in the So when this block ends, it's the court, and then it's the police station. But it's a standalone building.
Yeah, Judge, we suggested.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to drive towards the police station, which is just a few blocks away from there. And at this particular stage, this is the area that accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, indicated he had been assaulted by police on the 30th of May 2020, as well as the 5th of June 2020, indicating a number of police had been involved. He'd been smothered with a plastic bag. We're going to move from this area now to the police station. We're going to try and cut it there for just about a moment as we move towards there. In fact, we'll have to drive towards that particular area. Just take a look. If you look towards that direction there, that is where the accused, surrounded by a heightened police presence. That was the expectation generally of what was expected to take place here today. So we will move from this area and go to the police station now. And this is, of course, part of what accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya's lawyer, had requested in wanting to indicate or to demonstrate to the court the manner in which he had been assaulted on both of those days. He indicates that some of the police that were involved in the assault on that day were the likes of Sergeant Mahola, Ngamane, as well as Mapumulo, just some of the police officers. But on the 5th of June, he indicates about 10. He says he couldn't really see who had been assaulting him at the time, precisely because he had a plastic which was put over his face. Him indicating that area there is where all of this had basically transpired on those, where that had transpired on those 2 days. So we will move from this area. The accused, in this instance, accused number 1 asked if he was satisfied about what had happened here today. He indicated, yes, indeed, the rest will be ventilated inside court. And you can hear Advocate George Baloy, who is the state prosecutor, just finalizing that this is the central point at which accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, indicates is where these assaults had taken place. He indicates he was assaulted after he had been arrested. He indicates that he was forced into a confession, given a document just to sign. He did not do it freely and voluntarily, as the state alleges. So in this instance, I think we're just about to wrap up here at this particular location, which was described as the municipal area. Now, a little bit or a few moments ago, there was a question about why accused number 1 said this had been a secluded area. He says once the cars had parked here, no one from the street is able to see what was taking place. Essentially, nobody could have seen what was taking place on those particular days. Stay on there. On those particular days. So we're going to move from this particular side, and the accused will be put into the vehicles that all right, I think these are the vehicles in which the accused will be put into. And just stay with us live here on the SABC News channel. Some of the accused will go into this vehicle. In fact, you will see accused number 4, Mthokoziseni Mapisa, accused number 3, Mthobisi Mncube, and accused number 5, who is Fisobuhle Nduli, them being put into this vehicle now. And this is accused number 2 is being taken to this particular direction. He is in this particular car, and we're going to head now towards the police station. And I'll certainly tell you, from this particular part, we will move towards that police station. I'll ask you to let us go for just a moment as we proceed to that particular area. In fact, I think we'll move with... Help! Where is it going? All right, we're going to move towards the police station. In actual fact, it does seem like the teams are walking there. I think we'll just move. We will just move with the team. And we understand that at this particular area, Judge Rata Mokwateng indicating that part of where we needed to head towards was the police station. It's just on the other side of where we are at this stage. So while the accused are being transported in the vehicles, we have Advocate Charles Mnisi, who you will see here is leading. All of this is part of what he had brought before the court, wanting this in loco inspection to take place. Walking alongside, I've got you, walking alongside all right, let's take a look. This is where the accused will be moving from. This is one of the vehicles. Let's take a look. This is one of the vehicles. This one right here in front of me is the one that is carrying accused number 3, accused number 4 and 5, and there's a vehicle which is just behind us, which is carrying accused number 2, and some of the police officers, of course. You would have noticed as well that the lead investigator, Brigadier Bongani Kininda, let's move towards, let's move with this convoy. You'll see from where we are going. We'll move to the police station now. All right, we're just trying to ensure that from where we are, the cars themselves being taken from this particular direction, and you'll see from where we are here now, we'll enter the police station, which is part of this area, which is a point in question in this matter relating to the assault that accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, says he had suffered. And this was, I think, these are the vehicles. I'll ask my colleague Stelo Shanula to point towards this direction. These are the vehicles which are carrying the accused. I've got you. Carrying the accused at this particular point. We're headed towards the police station. Just about a few moments away from that. The court wanting to satisfy itself with the claims, I guess, that Muzi Sibiya is making in terms of the assaults that he alleges of the 30th of May as well as the 5th of June, both in 2020, and the court itself indicating that all the areas that he had spoken about, they would want to ensure that police or the court, this local inspection in loco, I beg your pardon, that is going to take place so the court can satisfy or get to a conclusion on whether the claims that and the description or the claims that accused number 1 is making, whether indeed there could be any credence to those claims. The judge also wanting to satisfy himself. I think at this point, let's just move with my colleague. You'll see the vehicles. Ask my colleague, let's move towards this direction. And this is where the accused will once again be taken out from. We've now arrived at the Vosloorus police station, and these are the vehicles. These 2 vehicles right here behind me, that one and this one as well, are the ones that are carrying the accused, including accused number 1, who indicates he had been assaulted. Him having described this particular area, how it had been secluded, how there had been an area around, explaining how he had been put on the ground, how his mouth had been, or his face had basically been covered by a plastic, and he goes on to further describe how all of what had taken place led to a coercion by police after he had been arrested, how he was assaulted, beaten up, kicked, forced into a confession, and this in loco inspection taking place today, centered around that, the exact place, him pointing out where he had been allegedly beaten up. We see the legal teams just about arriving. They're heading towards the entrance of the police station. I'm not sure if they're going to enter the police station at this particular point, but I'll just tell you, just to zoom in just a little bit into this vehicle. You'll see the accused behind this particular area. The accused also being brought into the police station. There is no clarity at this particular stage, if at all. They will be brought out. What I can see from my vantage point is that the state, as well as the Defence Counsel and the lead investigator, Brigadier Bongani Keninda, have converged just on the front of the police station, but not much in terms of the description of what he would allege, of course, had taken place here. Yet still a large police presence, as would have been expected for this in loco inspection. Advocate Sandile Mshololo.
Showing me where according to the state.
Hearing from Advocate Zandile Mshololo there. I think we'll head towards, we'll see actually. I don't think the accused are going to be brought out of these vehicles at this particular stage, but there's a caucus that is currently taking place between the state as well as the defence lawyers. That's towards my right as this heavy police presence remains here pertaining to the accused in this matter and this in loco inspection that is taking place. Recall that the last time that this matter had sat, there was an indication that we would only return to court after recess. This would be on the 21st of July. However, Judge Ratamokgotleng had indicated that he would only then go back to court much earlier if there had been an indication that the defence and the state would reach some kind of agreement on organising this in loco inspection, because it was a salient point that was raised by Advocate Charles Mnisi, who is walking towards my direction. Unfortunately, I can't ask him any questions, but I would only imagine that he's headed towards his client at this particular stage. And I guess he would be brought out. Perhaps, all right, I see he's giving an instruction that the accused be brought out at this stage. In this particular police vehicle, accused number 3, Mtobisi Mncube, accused number 4, Mthokoziseni Mapisa, as well as accused number 5, Fiso Guhlentuli. Here they are, coming out from this vehicle. And Bongani Ntanzi in the vehicle just next to where they are at the moment, and travelling by himself would be Muzi Sibiya, accused number 1, the main man here today to explain how he says police had assaulted, where he says, Levela baby, behind you. So this area also a particular area of contention. Apologies, sir. It's a bit at the Vosloorus police station now, where the accused have been brought to. Sorry. So at that municipal area, the goal spot that was described, we now have arrived at the police station, and this is where the in loco inspection will continue. And we'll get a sense now from stay with us here on SABC News with live coverage. Let's just hear in.
When the place where he met accused number 1 in the red Golf of Sergeant Mokola.
Silana ke ila khona uSergeant also uBrigadier Keninda athi wahlangana khona ke naye umsolo wokuqala kwigolf ebomvu yakhe uSergeant Mokola.
And where he spoke to accused number 1 inside that red Golf.
Ila akhulumela khona phakathi kuleyo moto leyo ebomvu igolf naye umsolo wokuqala.
Yes, over to
yes. Yeah. My lord, so the parking would have been these 2 parkings. Perhaps if we can have space here for the justice scene.
How did you come? You drove here or were you walking?
I drove.
You drove in your car?
In my car. And then I parked next to
where,
the red Golf.
Where did you get in?
that entrance.
That entrance.
Then I drove down.
Right.
Yes. Then I parked in one of these two parkings.
These two parkings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then opposite the parking, if they can just make way for just to see my lord.
Hello.
That is the pedestrian entrance over there.
Yeah.
That is the entrance I referred to when I was testifying. That the pedestrian entrance was just opposite where you parked.
Where you parked. Okay.
Yes. And then on the left hand side, that is the entrance for the cars going into the police station. Yes.
Okay.
Going down there and exiting there. This is where we parked, and this is where I had a discussion with him, and from here we then went to Ericsson after our discussion.
Uthi ke ila afika amakhona ke lana kwenye lama parking amabili eze ngemoto yakhe yena eshayelwa uyena wangena khona lapha yana esingene khona lana ke ila engena khona epolice station ngenyawo eceleni lapha ila engena khona imoto eseqedile ke la ukhuluma naye umsolo woqala kwase kuhanjwa kiwa eEraton.
And my lord, the building I referred to as the court 122 over there. That's the court that I said closer to the police station. The closest building is the court, and that is the court, which has its own entrance from the police station. And the court, as well as the police station, it's independent in terms of the entrance and the perimeters with the building that we went to. So the entrances for that building, it's a standalone building with its own entrance. When you come to the court, it's a standalone building with its own entrance. When you come here, it's a standalone building with two entrances, pedestrian here in front.
I think we make our own observations. Do not influence our mind.
No. Let me explain. He was here. We were not there.
Yeah, no, but I think we make our own observation whether this is a standalone building or what.
Ebesachaza ke ukuthi le ibhilidi lela ebekhuluma ngalo nangekade ethola ukuphakathi-ke ithi inkantolo lona leliyana liyimele lela bhilidi linendawo yokungena noma entrance yalo nalela ibhilidi esuka kulona-ke nalo liyimele nalana i-police station nayo-ke imele ine-entrance yayo eyodwa bese kunalama entrance amabili le yakhuluma ngayo iy'nyawo naleya yey'moto wasemtshela ukuthi cha asiyibonele thina kuyithina-ke esishoyo ukuthi ibhilidi liyimele.
That's right. There's a whole dividing.
Yeah, that's the reason why we came here, especially to see for ourselves.
So the police station, the court is that building. That's right.
That is correct, man.
That one.
Yes.
This one. Yes. And it's divided by a wall. It's about 6 to 8 meters.
Correct. That divides the court.
The court is right.
The police station.
So if you want to get into the court building, how do you access it?
So there's two entrances, my lord. Once you drive in there, if you are walking.
This is the court entrance.
Yes, yeah, for pedestrian.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, where that door is opening, there's a gentleman coming out there.
Right.
That is for pedestrian entrance. If you're coming in with the car, with the vehicle, you drive into that green gate. So you drive in, and it takes you to the parking of the court.
We have the court, okay.
Correct, yes.
Ngena lapha kunesitaphu eqeda uvuleka lapha kunomlisa oqeda uphuma ila ngena khona uma uhamba ngenyawo kune-gate ke lapha yana eceleni ila ungena khona-ke enkantolo uma uhamba ngemoto.
All right, the lead investigator.
There are lights on the precincts of the police station, and there's also a big light there in front of the entrance.
Yeah, no lights we can see, but we don't know what was the state of the light of the lights on that day. Now we can
All right, we're live at, let's hear from Judge Ratamo Gauteng.
I was
You
driving.
drove alone in?
I drove alone, my
And
lord.
then you found Mrs.
Muhola
Yeah.
on a red VW Golf, my lord.
Okay.
Yes, the police car.
She was with whom?
I remember there was Buthelezi, and I remember the late Sergeant Mabena as well.
Mabena.
Yes.
Were in two cars?
No, there may have been the car that was used by Sergeant, the late Sergeant Mabena, my lord.
Mabena.
Yes, yeah. But the accused one was inside the red Golf that was now driven by Sergeant Muhola.
Now, what date are we talking about now?
The 30th
The
of May.
30th.
Yeah, 30th of May. I didn't see accused 5 on the 5th.
Never
of May.
ever.
No. We never met. I only met him on the 30th of May.
We're talking accused one.
Accused 1, sorry. Accused 1, my lord. I only met him on the 30th of May 2020. When the pointing out was done on the 5th, I didn't see him. I didn't interact with him. That was done by Sergeant Mukhane and subsequently Colonel Hadek.
Angizange ngimbone ke umsolo oqala nge-5 ngambona ke nge-30 ngibane nge-5 ilela ngayophumba ngalo kanye noSergeant Mukhane emuva kwalokho wabe esehlangana-ke naye usole uKolonel Hadek.
Where's Mr. Baloyi inside?
I think all the aspects have been covered, Judge, regarding this place. There was a suggestion with my colleague that maybe we should also make a turn at that we should also make a turn where the incident happened, but we felt that arrangements haven't been made with the new tenants. We just feel that, yeah.
Unless maybe some of the management suggest that we just go and see the area vicinity there, if there's a park that is mentioned and all these things.
No, you can't do that. It's not in the record.
Yes.
This is a standalone application. You can't say now, can we go and see Humpty Dumpty? No, you can't.
Yes, no, this understandable.
So that's it.
So from our side, Judge, that's all. I don't
Any
know
other
if
things?
No, my lord.
When are we going to get the pictures? On Monday.
We can get them next week, my lord. I'll expedite.
Whenever we reassemble. Right?
Yeah. Are we going back straight to court or shall we reconvene on?
What's the time now?
1:45.
Yeah, we go to court. The cars are there anyway.
All right, that concludes the in loco inspection, of course, which was requested through court, of course, by Advocate Charles Mnisi. We see Judge Ratamo Gauteng just shooting down the suggestion that the place of the incident be visited, and we're talking about the place or the former home of Kelly Khumalo. That we should not visit that area. There had been a suggestion that that particular area be visited, but Judge Ratamo Gauteng indicating that that would not be necessary at this particular point. And I can certainly tell you that Brigadier Bongani Kaninda, of course, also indicating, like where we are at the moment, he's indicating that this is the location where he had met accused number 1 on the 30th of May 2020. On the 30th of May 2020. And this is, all right, accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya. The last of the accused to enter at this stage. I'm just trying to establish perhaps maybe at this particular point we heard Judge Ratamo Gauteng indicating we'll move from here to court, back to the High Court in Pretoria. Let's see if we're able to just move a little bit in here with my colleagues, and I do see that the accused are now entering the police station. And you'd recall Brigadier Bongani Kaninda indicating there have been accusations that he had been present when accused number one had been assaulted. He says no. He had first met accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, on the 30th of May at this particular police station. Oh, I do understand that at this particular point, we certainly will not be accompanying the accused to. They're headed towards the restrooms at this stage. So we are unfortunately not able to go beyond here. I think that will be overstepping the mark, if I may. But Brigadier Bongani Kaninda dispelling any suggestion that was made by accused number one that he had been present during any assault, which started off first at the goalpost, which is where he demonstrated that he had been assaulted on the floor. He had been smothered with a plastic, and that's essentially him demonstrating. He says this happened both on the 30th of May as well as the 5th of June. This was in 2020. And the police or the authorities themselves indicating that this is certainly not the case. There'd been no particular evidence to suggest that he had been assaulted. This while accused number one contends that that is what had happened to him on both of those days. There was an expectation, or in fact a suggestion, that had been brought up that from this particular location we will then head to the crime scene. This was back on the 26th of October 2014, but Judge Gauteng indicating that no prior arrangements have also been made for us to continue that in loco inspection at the home of Kelly Khumalo. The tenants who are living there at this time have not been informed. Judge Gauteng basically saying that cannot happen. Advocate Charles Mnisi also indicating that perhaps we could visit the park area. Remember, the park area was one of the key elements that had been mentioned relating to the fact that some of the eyewitnesses had seen the alleged intruders flee from inside the house to a nearby park. But Judge Gauteng also indicating that it's not necessary at this particular stage to visit that particular area. So we're expecting from this particular location, we will be heading out to the High Court in Pretoria once again, and proceedings are not expected to last long there, in particular because round about 15:30, that is when it is expected the accused are expected to be taken back to the different places where they are incarcerated. So I think we're going to leave it here for just a little bit, but we will ask you to stay on our visuals, perhaps on the side, because once the accused leave here, they will then once again be put back into the several modes of transport that brought them here, and they will be taken back to the High Court in Pretoria, and that's when they will move from there to the places where they are currently incarcerated. In fact, here they come out at this stage. The accused now will be taken back to the vehicles that they arrived in. All of this culminating in the significant part which the accused had spoken about, in particular in this case, accused number one, talking about multiple instances of abuse at the hands of police. That's been denied by the authorities, and in fact here they come, being led by accused number one, Muzi Sibiya. The reason why we are here, just behind him accused number three, Tobisi Mncube, and right behind him you also have Fiso Buhlentuli, who is accused number 5, as well as Bongani Ndanzi and Mthokoziseni Mapisa, expected to be taken back to the High Court in Pretoria at this particular stage. So it seems at this particular stage, the court seemingly satisfied with the process that has been that has unfolded here today. In particular, having asked accused number one if he was satisfied with the in-loco inspection at this point. The accused were moving from the Vosloorus police station at this point. They will be headed into the vehicles that were transporting them. This brings to an end the in-loco. I'm going to ask my colleague Sicelo Hlanula to just come to this direction for me. And this is certainly what brings that to an end. This in-loco inspection, where you have all of these accused that will head towards the court at this particular point. I'll ask my colleague Sicelo to come this direction. We will be able to see the accused. All right, and we'll move from here. And those are the vehicles that the accused. I'll ask my colleague to come this way once again. And you take a look at the high police presence that we have seen here, right behind me. The high police presence, which has been heightened over for this particular in-loco inspection. And in just about a moment, I'll ask my colleague Sicelo Hlanula as had been the case, accused number 5 of Vosloorus Ntuli, as well as accused number 3, Mtobisi Ngube, towards the cinema piece, accused number 5, travelling in one vehicle, will be headed to the High Court in Pretoria now. And then once again, accused number 2 in this vehicle. And there you have the man, the reason why we are here in this local inspection is accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya. From this point, we are going to head to the High Court in Pretoria, and I think that's where we're going to have to wrap it for now.
We are going to put this on record. Remember the indicator so that you can go back
And it's going to take much slower with us.
Really?
Guys, what happened? How did you get lost? Huh? Guys, then they're calling you Chris. There's no. Yes, there is no. Where's the visuals, guys? Guys, bangasang tuki officini. I was fuming, guys. I was like, guys, but we had a plan. What happened to our plan? What happened to our plan? What happened to our plan? Yo, guys. Yeah, charge.